The working help desk, the ticket comes in. Here's what it says. Can't log into my email. It says my username or password is incorrect, but I know that they're correct. What's the best way to solve this problem? That's what I'm going to show you in this video. If you've been working help desk for any length of time, you'll know that there are almost always many ways to solve ticket that comes in. But there are also better ways of solving various tickets. And so I want to show you how I would approach this ticket to get it solved as quickly as possible. Login issues, which commonly lead to password resets, are the most common kind of ticket that you're going to get on help desk. And generally, they're pretty straightforward. Sometimes they can be more complex. They can be a little bit trickier. And so if you are in a situation like this where somebody can't log in and you can't figure out what's wrong with their account, here's how I would approach this ticket. I would start by clarifying the problem. With any help desk ticket that you receive, there's always room to clarify the problem because no user ever gives you all of the information that you actually need in order to properly diagnose the problem. And so there's always this need for us as help desk technicians to ask good questions in order to get to the root of their problem and figure out why they're having the issue. And so the first question that I would ask this user is, when was the last time you logged in to your email? If it's been a great length of time since they last logged in, if it's been a month or something, possible that they went on leave, the user went on leave, and now they've come back, but their account hasn't been enabled yet for one reason or another. Or it's possible that their password has been changed since their last log on a month ago, and they just forgot that they had made the change. They logged into their account. It forced them to create a new password because their old one had expired, and they haven't logged in since. And so they forgot that they even changed the password. That's certainly a possibility. On the other hand, if their last login was recent, if it was just an hour ago, for example, well, then operator error becomes far less likely because they just logged in successfully an hour ago. They put in their password an hour ago. It's certainly still possible that they're typing it in wrong or that they forgot, but it becomes less likely than if their last login was a month ago. Second question I would ask is, have you changed your password recently? If they have, well, their password might be stored incorrectly in their browser, in their password manager, and that might need cleared. Or perhaps, like I said earlier, they just forgot their new password that they made, and so it needs to be reset again. Third question I would ask, and final question, where are you trying to log in specifically? On what kind of device, in which kind of client are you trying to log into? If the user's using the web client, well, it's possible that their previous credentials might be saved in the web browser, and those need to be cleared, and clearing the cache would fix this problem. If they're using the desktop app, on the other hand, well, then we might need to try having them log into various other Microsoft apps. If they're able to log into other apps, well, then we know it's a specifically Outlook issue. But if they're not able to log into any of them, then we know it's a more broad, general issue with their Microsoft account. So once we have the answers to these three questions, we can start troubleshooting with purpose. So I have 7 different steps here, 7 steps I would take in order of prevalence, in order of commonality, with actually resetting their password being the last step. So, number of things that I would check before you actually get to the point of resetting their password. And so, very first thing I would check is that their username is correct. I've seen people forget to type their middle initial in their username. They type first initial last name or something similar, where they just forget a small portion of their username, or they type .com instead of .org. Small errors that are easy to forget, but their username is incorrect because of it, and so they can't log in. Easy fix, easy to spot, easy to correct. So to start there, make sure that their username is correct. Step number 2, verify that caps lock is off and that the num lock is on. Especially for non-technical users, it's easy to have the caps lock pressed or the num lock pressed, and you don't realize that keys aren't typing the way that they're supposed to. If you're typing your password in all caps and you don't realize it, it's obviously going to be wrong. If your num lock is not on and you're typing on your number pad, no numbers are typing in, obviously your password's going to be wrong. So again, another easy thing to spot and to correct. Step number 3, check if their account is locked. Like I mentioned earlier, if they went on leave and they're now returning, their account might still be locked. If they were trying their old password because they forgot that they had a new one and they tried it several times, their account might have been locked for security reasons. And so if you're working in an organization where you have access to the Microsoft Admin Center, I would log in, I would unlock their account, and then I would have them try again. Otherwise, move on to the next step. So step 4 is to check for stored credentials. If they're trying to log in through the web client, hence why it's important to ask those initial clarification questions. If they're trying to log into the web client and their browser is storing credentials for their Microsoft account, clear it out. Eliminate the possibility that the browser is using wrong credentials. So show them how to open up their password manager in their browser, clear out the stored credentials for that specific website, and then have them try again, manually typing in the credentials. Step number 5 is in a similar vein, clear the browser's cache. Again, this is only going to apply if they're trying to log in through the web client. If deleting the stored credentials didn't work, it might be that you need to actually clear the cache, that you need to get rid of any site cookies or site data that might be causing issues for one reason or another. Step number 6, verify that other users can log in. Ensure that the problem is specific to this user rather than the entire network. The easiest way to check this is to log in yourself if you haven't already. So if you're not already logged into your email, do so. Make sure you can actually get in. And assuming that you can, then you can move on to the next step. But if you can't get logged in either, well, then you just found the issue. It's a bigger problem, whether it's Microsoft servers or a network problem, whatever it might be, there's a bigger problem. You're probably going to need to escalate this ticket to get it fixed. And so lastly, step number 7 is to reset their password. This should be used as a last resort because it is a pain for you as a help desk technician. It's a pain for the user to have to reset their password. Nobody likes it, but oftentimes it's necessary. It's a necessary evil. That means that you need to walk the user through the process. Don't just change it and then leave them out to dry. The key here is to guide the user through that process. That means that you explain what your organization's password length and complexity requirements are. If they can't think of a password right away, you might give them some dummy examples of potential passwords that help jog their memory into thinking of something. Or it might mean patiently waiting to make sure that everything actually goes smoothly, that they can think of a password and then get logged in afterward into their email. Once they're logged into their email, your job is complete. Another ticket successfully closed. Now, if you're new to the help desk and you freeze every time the phone rings, or if you never know what to say to a customer in order to sound genuine, or maybe you've been in the help desk role for a while now and you just want to increase your overall confidence or productivity on help desk calls, if that sounds like you, I wrote a free guide. It's called 5 Steps to Handling Help Desk Calls with Confidence. And I wrote it specifically for people wanting to increase their abilities and performance on the help desk. You see, it's great to know about IP addresses, about hard drives, VMs, all other things tech related, but if you are lacking in your soft skills and you don't know how to earn people's trust while you're helping them to solve their problems, every single ticket that you work on becomes harder than it needs to be. Because ultimately, every single ticket you work on involves working with the customer. You can download the guide on my website, moveintotech.com, I'll put a link in the description down below this video. That's all for now, though. Get out there, solve some tickets.